What up, Facebook? It's your girl, Chanel. I'm a little late tonight, but nevertheless, I'm here with you guys. It's building an audience. I'm trying to get set up. I'm worried about y'all because I was supposed to be on at 9 o'clock, and it's like 9:30, guys. I had a late night of working. And so I'm here. I didn't forget. I'm going to give you guys some time to log on so that we could talk about this hot topic, right? This hot topic, online dating. Does it really work? And I really want you guys to be very participatory tonight. I need you guys' insight. I want your perspective. I want to hear what you all think about it, because in all actuality, I'm trying to get adjusted. So forgive me if the camera is moving. I'm trying to get everything going. I'm trying to get positioned so you guys can see me and everything. But okay. So what's up, y'all? Hey Fred. What's up, Jermaine? What's up, cousin? So this online dating. So I'm fairly new to the online dating, and to be perfectly honest with you, I'm more of a traditionalist. I like the old-fashioned way of dating. However, I do understand that times are changing, and a lot more people are doing the online thing. So, does online dating work? Like, does it really work? I was reading an article just like yesterday, I think, and it was talking about, online dating kind of helps us save time, and wasting time with someone. It allows us to be able to meet people a whole lot quicker, and then figure out if we really want to build something with them, and if we don't, we can move on to the next person. I don't necessarily agree with that theory, because it's hard when you develop some level of friendship with someone. You're talking on the phone, you're having conversation, and you do it a couple times, and then you figure, wow, this person just doesn't do it for me. And then somehow, somewhere, you got to figure out how to communicate that, right? Like, you don't just not talk to somebody no more. You don't just stop talking. You don't fade out the picture. I know you guys, look, and I'm biased because I'm a female. And I know you guys, y'all like to just fade out. Like, y'all don't give nobody a warning. Y'all just wake up one day and y'all say, you know what? I don't like her no more. And y'all don't call that person anymore. And I don't get it. Like, I feel like if I decide that I'm no longer interested in you, then I feel like I owe you an explanation. I feel like I owe you that much to say, I'm not really feeling you, or it's not really working out, or, maybe we should do something different, right? So not too long ago, I signed up on Tinder, right? The online dating app. And my sister, she was telling me, Tinder is for hookups, right? And I'm gonna get to all you guys' comments in just a moment, because I want to read each and every one, and I see one that I really want to talk about, S. Jean. But hookups, right? She was like, Tinder is for hookups. And I was like, well, some of them say, no hookups. Some of them say they looking for a relationship, XYZ. But, Tinder, in my opinion, is really superficial, because you make judgments based on a person's exterior. Now, don't get me wrong. You have to be attracted to the other person. Like, God gave us eyes for a reason, right? Because we appeal to what we see. And I don't care what people say, oh, you're just judging based on how somebody look. No, because that's the first thing I see is your face. And then once I see your face and we begin to have conversation, then I begin to judge your content or your character. But the first thing that I see is your face. So I'm going to judge your face. So no, I'm not going to be with someone who I'm not attracted to. No, I'm not, because I don't have to. That's why it's so many different people, we get to pick what we like. God gave us so many different choices, so many different types of personalities, so many different types of individuals, that we don't have to be stuck on one person. But Tinder, in my opinion, is superficial, because I do notice that when I'm clicking through Tinder, right, I'll say no to somebody who, in all actuality, if I met them in the street and we had great conversation, I might actually say, okay, I'll go out on a date with you. But because I'm just judging based on their exterior on the app, I'm like, no. But then on the flip side of things, I don't like the online dating because you get all excited because you get a match, right? And then you have a conversation with this person, and then you're like, dang, I was so excited about meeting you, and now it's like you're not really what I want. Like, I've wasted this time, and I've gotten excited, and I've gotten all hyped up, and I'm not really interested, right? So, or I've experienced both, believe it or not. I've experienced where I've connected with someone online, and I did find some level of interest in them. And then I think because of my own personal preferences, we talked about men with children. He didn't necessarily like my views. He kind of faded out, and that's cool. Hopefully he'll watch this video and he'll, see that it's really cool. The only issue that I had with the fade out is that communicate. Say, you know what, I'm not really digging how you feel about X, Y, and Z, so I think it'd be best we go our separate ways. But anyway, but then on the flip side, when you meet somebody and you're like, dang, like this dude, he revealed, and I won't go into a whole lot of detail about individual people because I don't believe in exposing people on social media. But this particular gentleman, he exposed a piece of information about himself that was very minor, really. And you guys will probably call me shallow, but it was important to me. And when he told me through text, he didn't see anything wrong with it. But when he said what he said through text, I was like, oh, I'm not interested no more. Like, why did he tell me that? Oh my God. Like I'm not, like for that one little piece of information, it kind of killed whatever vibe we was experiencing. So let me hear what you guys got to say out there. I'm going to go back and start from the very beginning so nobody is overlooked. Byron Terry says, I haven't had no luck on the online dating. Byron, I'm with you. Like online dating, like I said, on that Tinder app, like people will match with you and then they won't text you. They won't say nothing to you. And me as a woman, I do believe in order. And, I'll sit and wait and see if the guy's going to say something back to me if we match. And then they don't ever say anything. So I'm kind of fed up with the whole and I've only tried Tinder, y'all. I haven't tried any other dating because I'm not gonna pay for what is it? eHarmony. I'm not paying to meet someone. So I've only tried the Tinder app. Troy Antoine said, I don't know. Let's see. Okay. S. Jean, your comment was the one that I really wanted to get to. It says, online dating is dangerous catfish. The only thing online dating does is let you grocery shop, pick and choose. You right, but you never get to eat. You never get to eat. You can pick and choose all day long, but I'm tired of picking and choosing. I want to eat. So I agree with you that online dating, it doesn't really... It worked for some people. Some people has experienced some tremendous success with the online dating thing. Me personally, I don't really care for it. I prefer not to do it. You meet people's representative. You don't really get to know the person. So you don't really know their context or their background or the environment that they come out of. So for the first few conversations, while you're getting geeked because it seems like you guys are on the same page, you guys are talking and vibing, you don't know who this person is. You don't know where they come from. It's kind of like that when you meet somebody out in the street, but you do get a better idea of, hey, is this someone who I want to get to know a little bit better, right? So, James, you said women fade out the same way they do it worse. So, James, tell me a little bit, how do women fade out? How they do it worse? Because, y'all good for fading out. Like, men, y'all fade out. It could be online dating. It could just be dating. You guys, if you're not interested, you guys will act like you still interested. But we'll know initially, we'll be like, well, oh, he didn't call us today. So, he's busy, he's working, he's doing whatever. And then day 2, and then day 3, and then by day 5, you're like, okay, he's sending a clear message. And that's kind of how you guys do it because you don't want to hurt our feelings. But, I personally would prefer if you just say, hey, nowadays we got too many forms of communication where you can send a text message, you can send an email, you can send me an instant message on Facebook, you can send me an Instagram, you can send me a tweet, you could call me. It's so many other ways that you can communicate to me what your intentions are rather than just kind of leaving me to kind of figure it out. And then what about these situations when the dude do fade out? And y'all can kind of see where this conversation is kind of taking a left turn. We're talking about online dating, but we're talking about dating as well. But when the situation does fade out and we're not quite clear on the fact that it's faded out, here we are calling you guys like, hey, what's up? And we're making excuses when in fact you just communicating very clearly by your lack thereof, like the lack of action, the lack of phone calls, and we try to tell ourselves, well, oh, he busy, but no, he's not. He's just not interested. So Kenyatta said, mistake, Tinder is the worst one. Girl, well, recommend some better platforms and maybe I'll look into it. I'm not really into it. Like I said, I just tried it over the last month and I have to be honest, I'm not really feeling it. Byron said, no, not Tinder. Tilla Anthony said, you could call me anytime. See, look, Tilla Anthony, I don't know if your first name is Tilla or your last name, but check this out. We're talking about whether it works or not. So let's try something different. And you don't even have a profile picture, so I'm not gonna call you. So anyway, Mama, Benahima, and I love you. Oh my God, you love me. You never even met me. See, I could be the worst person in the world and you haven't even had one conversation with me. So that's the thing. You see how the online dating gives you this illusion of what a person is really like, and then when you meet them, you're like, oh my God, they're not like what I thought, and you get all disappointed. So Dylan said, real man on you. Dating apps are the devil. Earl, I know they are the devil. Earl, you have been blessed with a beautiful wife. You're not having to experience what your girl having to experience. I've been at this thing for over 20 years, Earl. Pray for me. Pray that God sends the right man into my life and I could do away with this online dating forever, because I really want to. I really hate it, in all honesty. I don't do it that often. I have never gone off. Let's be clear, first of all. Since we are on Facebook Live, I have never gone out on a date with someone that I met online. I have, however, talked on the phone. Well, actually, I've only talked to one person that I met on Tinder, and I didn't talk to them person to person. We text. He never called me, and I gave him permission to call because I'm not really into the whole texting when you're trying to get to know somebody. But he never called. He just texted, and I think because I never opened, removed that wall. Like I had conversation, but I never welcomed him, if you will. He kind of just stopped texting. Now, there was another gentleman that bypassed the whole Tinder thing, like saw my profile on Tinder. I didn't connect with him on Tinder, and he decided to text me or send me a DM on Instagram, like bypass the whole Tinder, saw my profile and sent me a message on Instagram introducing himself. And initially I just kind of ignored it, and one day out of boredom I responded because I looked at some of his pictures and he seemed like a decent brother. I couldn't really tell just by looking at the picture, but from what I could see, he seemed like a decent guy. I began talking to this brother on FaceTime. He wanted to FaceTime immediately. I guess he wanted to know if I looked like my profile picture, because he wanted to FaceTime y'all immediately. And we became FaceTime buddies. Like, he had no desire to meet me in person. He just wanted to talk my head off, basically. And it's annoying. So, rule number one, if you are online and you're trying to meet someone, we don't want like a FaceTime buddy or a text buddy. We got enough friends to be text buddy. Like, don't connect with me. Don't like nothing, or however that stuff go with the online dating. If you're not interested in getting to know me, you know what I'm saying? Forget all that FaceTime text and stuff. I don't want to do that. So anyway, S. Jean said, Tinder is more of, I see what I like, let's hook up and make some magic. I ain't with that, S. Jean. I ain't with that at all. And you know what? You might be on to something, because dude, when we were texting back and forth, he was like, so what are you doing today? And I was like, oh, nothing, just hanging around the house. And dude was like, can I drop by? I was like, drop by my house? You want to drop by my house? No, you can't drop by my house. Like, I'll meet you out somewhere just to kind of, get to know you, or, see you in person, or whatever the case may be. So anyway, Byron said, wow, why do people judge men and women by their looks? Well, Byron, you judge people by their looks too. Don't trip now. If you were walking down the street and you saw, let's see, a woman, I don't want to be discriminatory. So let's just say, because I don't know what you like. But let's just say you saw a woman that was not as attractive, or not so, that didn't catch your eye. You're not going to want to talk to her because she's not attractive. I don't care what kind of heart she got. I don't care how educated she is. I don't care how great her conversation is. If you're not attracted to her face, you're not going to want to have a conversation with her. You're just not. The only way you will have a conversation with that person is if you guys meet in a common setting where you have common goals and a common purpose, and you're not trying to date one another. And then you begin to have conversation, and then at some point you're like, wow, I really like this person. So then you've looked beyond the exterior, and now you see the interior, but you didn't set off saying, you know what, I want to date them, or I want to get to know them, because you were not physically attracted to that person. So don't kill that. Why do people judge men and women by their looks? It's not judging. It's a matter of preference. It's about what you like. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. So Kenyatta said, how is that different than meeting someone in person? Same thing. Okay, Kenyatta, can you elaborate just a little bit more so I can know what you're trying to say? What's up, Willie? Henderson, North Carolina in the building. Keep doing your thing. I appreciate that. I'm trying, y'all. As Jean said, online dating makes you antisocial. It doesn't teach you how to be social. Makes a man more nervous because he isn't facing you head on when you meet a woman in person and not online. So it makes a man more nervous. I think it makes everybody nervous because you talking to somebody who you don't know, in all honesty. Like, it's a dangerous line. It's a dangerous place to be, y'all, because you are connecting with someone, especially when you start off by texting and potentially talking on the phone. Nowadays you guys don't like to talk on the phone. You like to text, right? So you are developing a connection with someone that you don't even know, right? This happened to me over 20 years ago. I'll tell you a story. This was right after college. I've been out of college for 22 years. I've been out of college for a little while. It's been 20 years. I've been out of school for 19 years. My bad. But this was this was right after I got out of school. So maybe about 17 years ago. I met this dude, right? My mom, she introduced me to him because she met him at her job. And my mother, she lived in New Jersey and I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. And my mother thought that he was, a great fit for me. So she gave him my number without my permission. And this gentleman called because he liked my mom. He's so enamored by my mom. But she was like, I want you to meet my daughter. So I met this brother, and he just seemed at the time, now when I think about it, I'm like, how could you even? But at the time, I was very young, and I was intrigued by this guy who I'd never seen. And back then, y'all, we didn't have camera phones. We didn't have FaceTime. We didn't have all that. So, and we didn't have, I couldn't, we didn't mail a picture to one another. We didn't have all this, what we have now. So I talked to this guy for a couple weeks, and he decided he was going to come to North Carolina to visit me. And when he came to North Carolina to visit me, y'all, when I went to pick him up, because he took the Greyhound bus to see me. But when I went to pick him up, when I saw his face, I was like, what the hell? It was I was familiar with his voice because that's all I'd experienced up until that point. But when I laid my eyes on his face, he was a stranger to me. I didn't know him. And here he is. He's taken the Greyhound bus from New Jersey to Charlotte, North Carolina to spend the weekend to visit with me. Now, that is dangerous because you've developed a connection with someone who you don't know. And that was clearly, we know, it's superficial in that respect, because here I am, I'm intrigued by this brother. I've been talking to him. I feel like I know him. I can't wait for him to come. And then when I see him, I'm blown out the water. Because I trust my mother's, and I trust what my mother said, I think you'll like him. And when I saw him, I was not attracted to him at all. So it made for a very long weekend because he still came to visit. And it was nothing that I wasn't raised like that to just kind of leave him. So I allowed him to come on and visit anyway, but it was the worst because there was no connection. Once I laid my eyes on him, it was over. So that's another reason why I don't like the online dating thing, is because when you don't see it, you can't see a person. You can't, or you see a picture and then you see this person in real life. You're like, okay, that's not who I saw online. So I don't even know who you are. Hey, David, y'all, he detailed my car today, y'all. If y'all in the Atlanta area, check him out. He is the bomb. He actually took care of my whole team, their cars. He cleaned us up, and we was looking good. All our cars were nice today. So anyway, Kenyatta said, you meet representative in person. You're right, Kenyatta. I ain't downplaying that. You do meet the representative in person. But I tell you what, it ain't gonna be long before the real person seep out. If y'all talk long enough, if you are in communication long enough, ladies, don't let the men play you when he don't call you, or he say, oh, I was busy, or I was doing that, and that's why I didn't call today. No, if he's not calling you, he's not interested. Don't, so talk to him so you can find out who this person really is. Like, I think that's a good tip, whether it's online or not, is when you're meeting these men, if you talk to them long enough, you will find out who they really are. Like, I think too many times we get fooled by, what we think a person is because, oh, he's so nice. Everybody's nice when you first meet them. And then shortly thereafter, the real person is going to seep out. He's going to show up, or she's going to show up. And don't be blind to it because he's fine or because she's fine. Pay attention, listen. Listen, don't get caught up. And I'm not only talking to you guys, but I'm preaching to the choir. Because it's so easy to get caught up when we want to be in a relationship. We ignore the signs. We don't see what's really happening before us because we want to be in a relationship and we think, oh, he's attractive, or oh, she's attractive. No, listen to what comes out of their mouth. So anyway, Demario says, you don't know that if you met them regularly. If you have regular communication, you will know. If you listen and pay attention and not be so intrigued by how they look, then you will. And I mean, we're all guilty of being caught up. Oh, he's this, oh, he's that, and not paying attention to the signs, or not paying attention to, this person's character, or not paying attention to how consistent or how inconsistent that person is. That will tell a whole lot about that person. We tend to give people passes and make excuses, but we all know that we make time for those who we want to make time for, and for those that we don't want to make time for, we don't. And that's just the bottom line. So the next time you're in a situation and you're trying to figure out what this person is really about, ask yourself how you would handle it, and you have your answer right there. And again, I'm preaching to the choir. So Rasheen Russell said, I would just walk away and tell her. See, Rasheen, I can respect a brother like you, because I think that if we communicated more and stop being so cowardly and not wanting to express the real truth, then we wouldn't be caught up in some of these crazy situations. Brothers, and I'm speaking from my comments tonight might seem a little biased because I'm a female. But, a lot of times, guys, we don't even know something is wrong. All we know is that you guys stopped calling because you didn't communicate with us what the issue was. And sometimes all it takes is a conversation to really get to the core of whatever the issue is. But if you never talk, how do we know? And then you have these situations where you meet someone and maybe the female is not catching the hint and she's calling you, and next thing you know, you're labeling her as crazy. And we do it too, because I've been guilty of it. Oh, he's calling me, or oh, he's blowing me up, or oh, he's texting me, or he called me like 20 times. Well, he's calling you 20 times because you didn't tell him what it really was. You didn't tell him that behind his back you was talking about how you didn't like him, or behind her back you wasn't telling her how you wasn't feeling her and how you wasn't into her. So I think that if we was upfront, honest, and just really spoke the truth, then we could eliminate some of the foolishness that we get ourselves caught up in. Anthony Springer said, you're stupid. Well, Anthony, you're on my timeline. So guess who's the stupid one? You're listening to the stupid one. So what stupid is, stupid does. So if you think I'm stupid, log off. Demario says, also in person, it's easier to have your guard down. Online, you're more cautious and notice things differently. I guess, Demario, I think it could work both ways. You're right. You could have your guard down in person, and you could be more cautious. I don't know. Like, I think for me, I don't know. Let me think about that. You said it's easy to have your guard down. Online, you're more cautious and you notice things differently. I guess that could be true, depending upon the type of connection or, how you meet or, those different things. It could be difficult. I think the most important thing, and like I said, again, I'm not teaching y'all, I'm just sharing from experiential knowledge. It's just not being overtaken by loneliness, not getting so caught up and wanting to be in a relationship that we ignore the signs, whether it be online or whether it be in person. I think that's the most important thing. Sometimes we want to be in a relationship so bad and we know that a situation is not right for us, but we'll either still get involved or still try to make something work or still force the issue rather than take the sign and moving forward and meeting the right person for you. As Jean said, most men are nervous when they meet a woman online, in person. Why? They don't have that much social skills. Well, I guess you're right. Sometimes it could be on both parts, though. Women and men struggle in that area with social skills. We have a certain level of anxiety when we meet someone that we really like. Sometimes we're overtaken by their beauty or by, just their conversation or just how articulate they are, or just by the idea of who we might think they are and not really who they are. So I think that it's so important to be aware of your own self-worth, so that when you meet someone, you don't think, well, oh, he's too good for me, or oh, I'm not good enough for him. No, you have value, and you approach that situation head on and you evaluate all aspects of it. And don't be closed-minded and don't be desperate. Don't be desperate to be in a relationship. And I think you'll be able to see the truth. David said, you are. What you mean, David? What am I? What are you saying? Are you serious? Am I serious about what, David? Can you be more explicit so I can understand what you're saying? Terrell said, never tried it. Kenyatta said, the representative example you gave. It happens when you meet people on the street as well. You're right, Kenyatta. When you meet people on the street, you always get their representative. But I can tell you this, it's only so long they can hide the real them. Like, you can't hide the real you. Like, talk on the phone for a good week. And I guarantee you will begin to see that person's habits. You will begin to see that person's character. You will begin to experience that person's content. You'll know. You may not get the whole picture, but you'll get a good idea of who that person really is. The key is talking, guys, because we like to text. We gotta talk, because you gotta be able to ask those hard questions. When you're texting someone and you ask them questions, a person can say whatever they want to say. And when they're not looking you in the face, it's easier. We have those people behind the keyboard. They can say whatever they want to say, but if you look at them eye to eye, they won't even be able to articulate or express themselves in a way that will that the other person can really understand it. So I think that, it's important to have communication, talk to one another, not text, especially when you just getting to meet someone. You need to talk, like person to person, not like if you can avoid texting at all costs, and unless you're just, shooting a quick text, then I would avoid it when I first meet someone. When you first meet someone, I would recommend avoiding, what in the world? Oh, I'm sorry. I would recommend. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, y'all. My computer, I got my cell phone on top of my laptop. My laptop went up. I'm thinking I lost you guys. So, yeah, I would recommend losing the text. And I know y'all not gonna do it, but it would be so beneficial if you just spent those first few weeks just talking and getting to know that person. Terrell said, I'd rather talk. That's right, Terrell. I agree. David said, shaking my head, David, talk. You hear me saying talk? How many times have I said talk on this broadcast? Talk. I don't want to hear shaking my head. I don't want to hear, are you serious? Come on, get a little bit more explicit with what you're trying to say so I can understand what you're saying. Johnson, highly motivated Terry. How are your embrace services for your Mercedes-Benz? Johnson, we ain't talking about my car right now. So, Sidian Amil Howell. So after the weekend, did he act different from what he was already saying? Who are you talking about? After the weekend, did he act different? Who are you speaking about? Tell me what you're talking about. Also, everything you're saying is correct. I appreciate that. Or during the weekend. During the weekend, help me remember what you're referencing. Kenyatta says, I agree. Talk time, togetherness is key in dating to get to know a person, online or in person. I agree. The issue with online dating is people be talking to online folk for like months. Nope. You have a, hold on, max of 2 weeks to meet in person. Take the situation offline as soon as possible. Kenyatta, let me tell you something, girl. I mean, the fact that you bring that up is so key, because the one gentleman that I did agree to allow to call or to talk to me and to call me, he wanted to FaceTime, and this man was FaceTiming me for 1 month. And I said to him, hey, you don't want to meet in person? Like, we've been talking for like a month, and I'm surprised I even let it go on for that long, but I'm so busy. It worked in that moment. But I think by week 3, I started to notice, like, okay, Chanel, you've been talking to this guy for about 3 weeks now on FaceTime, and you have yet to meet him in person. And more importantly, I really like the brother from FaceTime. And that's crazy to me, right? Because at the end of the day, you think you know somebody and you really don't. You don't. Like, when I started to get agitated by the fact that we had meet, I was like, I can't believe I'm agitated by this man, and I never lay eyes on him in my life. But because we had talked so long, you begin to develop a connection with this person. Because I'm looking at him on FaceTime and thinking I know him, and I don't. I probably would walk right past him if I saw him in the street, because I never met him in person. Maybe not. But my point is, you have to, like Kenyatta is saying, take it offline as soon as possible. Meet that person face to face to know if this is even someone that's worth investing your time in. Like, who has time to waste nowadays? I think that's one of the things that I don't like about online dating is the whole text thing. People want to text. I don't have time to waste. So, like I said, and that's another thing. Some of you guys, and I'm talking to the guys because these are my own personal experiences, and men, you can respond however you choose. You connect online, and you say, I'm interested in meeting someone, and we'll see where it goes, blah 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 blah. Hopefully you have a little bit more purpose about, when you're connecting with someone, it's more purpose driven than just, oh, I'll see where it goes. But then you meet these people who they don't even know what they want. They don't even know where they are in life. They don't even know what they have the capacity to give or not to give. Don't waste my time. That's my whole point. If you know you're not in a place where you don't want to get to know someone, or you don't have time, or you don't have the capacity, or there's something else in your life that takes priority that you have to give your time to, then don't try to date somebody. Like, why waste their time? Another thing, guys, that I want to address, and this is like the perfect platform to address it. If you're married, look at my face. If you're married, you have children, then that's an insult to me. Because number one, you can't offer me nothing. Number one, there's nothing you can offer me. So I feel like you don't even think enough of me to even step to me when you have a wife and you have children. Like, what can you give me? Where does that leave me? What about me? You ain't even thinking about me. You think about your own fleshly desire. You ain't even interested in me. All you're thinking about is what you can gain from that situation in that moment. So if you're married, don't talk to me. Don't inbox me. Don't call me. Don't do nothing. That's all I got to say about that. So, Jameek Royal, he says, you need a real man that's going to take care of you and believe in God first. You're right. And when you meet him, you introduce me to him. All right. And Johnson, he says it's all about communication. What women do that all the time. Women do what all the time? Be more explicit. You have to communicate, and I think you have to listen. You can't both talk at the same time. Exactly. I agree with you. And James, I'm so guilty of it, but I try to listen because I'm so interested in what the man has to say. Like, I will shut up in the heat of an argument. As long as the man is talking, that's all that matters to me. I just want to hear what his perspective is. I just want to hear what he has to say. Even if I got something to say, I will shut it down because I'm so I'm so interested in, as long as you're talking. What gets me all riled up is when, how you men, sometimes you guys shut down and you don't want to talk. But if you're talking, then you got me. I'm going to listen. As long as you're talking, we're good. As long as you're communicating, we'll work through it. I'm good with that. Chef says, you are so right, sister. I appreciate that. Video chatting helps. I sure hope so. Hey, Tracy, girl, jump on in this conversation about online dating. Sidian said, the guy your mom gave your number to? You said, how did he act after that weekend? Sidian, it was over. Like, it didn't matter how he was acting. I was done. I was not attracted to the brother. So it was a waste of both of our times. Unfortunately, it was a wasted trip on his behalf because there was no connection. So we had a false sense of connection by talking on the phone. And I mean, unfortunately, those were the circumstances back then because he was in one state and I was in another state. And I mean, we connected as soon as we could, but we were 600 miles apart. So we did the best that we could. So Johnson said, just wanted to remind you of how I met you. How you met me, Johnson? By the way, you're very beautiful. I appreciate that. Tatiana, girl, I've been looking for you. Okay, she said, yes, don't be desperate in dating. Not only would you end up making bad choices, but the person will sense your desperation, which could be a turnoff, and others may use it to their advantage. I so agree about that. Men do detect, and I'm going to speak from a woman's perspective. So men, like I said, this is an open forum where you can be as open, honest, and transparent as you like to be. You see somebody call me stupid, I ain't tripping. That's your opinion. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Men they sense a level of weakness in women when you're desperate and when you have a lot of anxiety. Men sense that and they do take advantage of that, and they begin to play games sometimes. They begin to play mind games because they like that. Some men I know, and I'm not saying all men, some people in general, I won't even generalize it and say men, I'll say people, they thrive off of that. When you act desperate, this is for the men and the women, when you act desperate and you have a lot of anxiety, like for some people, that's affirmation for them, and they thrive off the drama. So that's why you can't give people that type of energy. That's why you got to fall back if somebody is showing you that they're not into you. You have to fall back, and allow them the opportunity to pursue you, ladies. And again, I'm speaking from experiential knowledge. I'm not speaking just to be talking. I've been on both sides of the spectrum. You have to fall back sometimes because when men see that weakness in you, it's like it's a turnoff for them. Like something changes. I really don't understand it. Maybe you guys can give me some insight on that. Very well said. I appreciate that. I don't know what you're talking about, but you'll tell me. You ever dated out of your race? No, I haven't. I'm not opposed to it, but I've never dated anyone outside of my race. Kenyatta said, I like that you bring up people who are busy. It may not be that they don't want to date, but their schedule doesn't allow for a lot of socialization and they don't have time to waste. I think that's who online dating is for. I agree with you, but I think that the online thing kind of is like one of the things that I don't like about online dating is that you just kind of like, you're still dealing with a human being. Like it could be online, it could be in person. You're still dealing with real people with real feelings and real emotions. And I think online dating sometimes is the easy way out. I think, like I said, if it's something that you don't want to do, why can't we just communicate that, y'all? Instead of just dropping it. And then the person is sitting there wondering, well, what happened? Or why this isn't working, or why this didn't happen, or what happened, or we were talking, or we were communicating via text, and then all of a sudden I didn't hear from that person anymore. Like I think sometimes it's the easy way out. That's the only thing. That's not the only thing, but that's one of the things that I don't like about the online thing. And I have very limited experience with the online, but I do like it. It gives people an excuse not to call you back because there's no real connection. I have experienced that. Hey Dante, what's up, boo? So he said, hey, look like one of your kisses would feel like two. Boy, please. See, you wasn't on here earlier now. I'm not going to call you out on this timeline. Okay, Johnson said, what did he say? You said, I registered you for your embrace. Oh, Johnson, yeah, you did register. Okay, I got you now. First, I was a little confused. How are you? It's so good to Look, read your comments because I can't see you, but it's so good to connect again. That's cool. Okay, Chef Freddie Perez says something new like the movie. Yeah, I'm into something new. I'm not, like I said, I'm not opposed to dating men outside of my race. I just haven't met anyone, that I was attracted to or that was attracted to me. So that's why I haven't dated outside of my race up until this point. Johnson says women also take advantage as well when you really like them and care. Johnson, you know what? And I agree with you, but I don't know them. I don't know those type of women because all my girls that are single, they looking to be in healthy relationship. They're not looking to play. Not at our age. We are looking for a healthy relationship. That's what we're looking for. And, the women that I've experienced, if they care, they're going to show that they care. They're going to put 100% in and they expect 100% out. Unfortunately, they haven't always gotten it. And some of my closest friends, we have, I'm saying we, not me. Some of and when I say we, because I'm thinking about her as me, because we are one in that sense. That's my best friend in the whole wide world. But we've experienced disappointment, you know what I'm saying, with the online thing. So, I don't know. Jameek Royal said, I am that man and here's my number and we could talk about God first, then a friendship. I got you. Don't be too religious though, but I appreciate that because I have an authentic relationship with God, but don't lead out like that. Not like that. It's scary when you do that. Kenyatta Joseph said, no, I mean like busy professionals. Like my friend is an OBGYN. She works 8 to 8 and on call on the weekends. Online dating gives her the option to meet some people. I agree, Kenyatta, because I'm going to tell y'all this. In Atlanta, it's very difficult to date. It is a different beast out here. Like, I'm not kidding. And I'm not one to generalize. I'm not one... a lot of people, when you'll hear people in conversation, because majority of the people here in Atlanta are not from Atlanta, they'll say people in Atlanta. And so I don't really like that, but I have to agree. It is very difficult to meet good men with potential in Atlanta. I can't articulate it. It's hard, y'all. I can count on one hand in the last year and 3 months that I've lived here, how many straight available men with potential that I've met. I haven't. So Dion Styles said it's crazy that women know how to fix their cars, do drywall, and all the things men should know. When did the roles of a man switch to be because I don't know nowadays. I mean, you know what? I take some of the responsibility because, we let men get by with so much. And, then we end up single anyway. We date these men and they do stupid stuff and we keep forgiving. We keep allowing them to get by. Next thing you know, you've invested 4 and 5 years of your life into a situation, and then you end up being single anyway. You end up having to do everything by yourself anyway. So that's why, a part of this, we're dealing with online dating, but we're also dealing with dating, because I have to be honest. Like, I'm 42, guys, 42 years old. And I just recently had the aha moment. Like, there's a difference between dating and being in a relationship. And that's going to be my topic at the next CheMinistry here in Atlanta. I struggle with that because I'm not good at dating. Dating is not in my DNA. I don't like dating. But I realize that you have to date in order to be in a relationship. But at the same time, there has to be a certain level of respect because, nowadays men will date you and they'll try to date 10 other women, and then they'll hold that over your head for 6 months, a year, and y'all will be doing everything that two people in relationship would do, but you're still just dating. Oh, you just my friend. No, the devil is a liar. I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend, and you're not dating me and dating 10 other women either. I'm not doing that. And some people say, well, just do your own thing. No, you're not doing it. It's too many diseases. It's too many things that's going on. And not only that, it's too many crazy women out here and men. Nowadays, people will kill you over that foolishness. Mess around with somebody and play with their emotions and walk outside and your tires be flat. Or even worse, somebody pull a gun on you or do something crazy like that. It's crazy out here. So I'm learning how to date. I'm learning how to differentiate between dating and being in a relationship, but it's difficult for me. It really is. And the reason it's difficult is because I believe men take advantage of that dating phase because they feel like they can date you and do whatever else they want to do. And it just doesn't work like that with me. And maybe that's why I'm still single at 42. But there are just certain things that I'm not going to tolerate. I prefer to be healthy and in my right mind rather than being with someone who's going to disrespect me and, not treat me the way that I deserve to be treated as a woman. I have a lot to bring to the table. So I feel like if you can't value who I am as a woman, then you could keep it moving. So Dion said, it's crazy that women know how to fit. Okay, I read that already. John said, I'm blessed, dear. Great seeing you. Great seeing you too. Okay, going to reveal my picture in a moment. Okay, good. And then Chef Freddie said, I'd like to meet you and cook for you the breakfast in bed. Now, I don't know about the breakfast in bed, Chef Freddie. You don't even know me. Then we just get finished saying you meeting the representative. Like, do you really know me through this video? You don't. I could be one of the worst people ever. You would never know that. You would have to take time to get to know me first before you cook me breakfast in bed, man. Come on. Shalonda said, it's hard everywhere. Girl, I know it's hard. But girl, see, I get it. It is hard everywhere. But let me tell you something. I feel like it's harder here because for every 3 men that I meet, there's 10 that are homosexual here. Okay? That's just the truth here. Some of my best friends here in Atlanta are gay. But I'm just putting it out there. For every 3 men, there's 10 who are gay. So that's why I say it's very difficult here in Atlanta. Because not only do you have to deal with the games and you have to deal with the foolishness, you got to wonder if he's gay or if he's bisexual or, you know what I'm saying? You got to wonder about that type of stuff. And you got to worry about it everywhere, but I'm just saying that it's more prevalent here. Sweetie, you need to be courted, not dated. I know. Most men don't even know what courted is, Johnson. They don't even know what that word means. Why don't you teach us? Why don't you give us a lesson tonight and talk to these people and tell them about courtship, the difference between courting and dating. Dating really, y'all, is dating without a destination. Like you have no purpose whatsoever. You just kind of test driving it. You're trying to see where it's going. Courtship is when you have intentionality about a person. Courtship is when there is a destination. Courtship is when you have purpose. The relationship has purpose. You're not just test driving. You know where it's going. Not to say that you're not going to have ups and downs, but you have a good idea about where this situation is going. That's the difference. So, Alamando, you funny. Come and get me now. And see the power of all the universe and the stars. Be quiet and calm. I wish women and men are doing the crazy dating game. Both take advantage. I agree. They both do. But I'm biased. Aaron Henderson, good communication is just like having great sex. Feelings and emotions get involved and thought of that person holding, touching, and kissing you. Your mind sort of runs, but then the fear takes over. Thinking that this person is like all your other relationships and you give up. Today, you can't keep putting everything on men. A lot of you women today are materialistic. You knew coming into the relationship what my money was like before we got into it. Okay, so Aaron, let's talk about that. Okay, good communication is like having great sex. Like communication, man, can have your mind, just on cloud 29. If that person has great conversation and great communication, and if you guys have great chemistry, right? But then you says fear takes over. Okay, fear only takes over when the other person does something that reminds them of a previous relationship. If you're constantly moving forward and you're constantly nurturing that relationship, then there's no room for fear. There's no room for fear. Because you're constantly showing them that you want to be there. The moment fear steps in, that's because you've done something that reminded them of a previous situation. Now, as far as the materialistic goes, let me just go ahead and put this out here since you talk about materialistic. I'm 42 years old. I'm not dating somebody that work at McDonald's. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. You could call me materialistic all you want, but guess what? I pay for everything I got At the car I drive, the home I live in, the clothes on my back, you see these in my ear, I pay for it. So I have a right to be with who I want to be with. And he's going to have to bring something to the table. Is it always about money? No, it's not. But he has to be purpose driven. He has to be ambitious. He has to have goals. He has to know where he's going. If he doesn't have a 5-year plan, he's not talking to me. I'm just saying. Call me materialistic if you like. That's on you, not on me. And that's it, because this is my life. I get to choose how I'm going to spend the rest of my life. You don't get to choose how I spend the rest of my life. So that's just it is. That's forever. So Chef said, I know I was in touch. Okay, cool. Tatiana said, Tisha, now look, I'm trying, girl. Look, I try to be truthful because these people be playing. They don't want to say what they really thinking in their head. Look, I tell them in a minute, I'm 42. I'm not playing no games. It's something that I'm looking for specific at this age in my life. I don't have time to backtrack. And I'll be the first one to say, I'd rather be single and by myself than to be dealing with some foolishness. I'm just saying, I'm not taking care of no man. I'm not taking care of a man. If he can't contribute, then he's probably not going to be talking to me. So that's just it. Okay, Shalana said, you are being real open, sis. We talked about this topic. I remember we used to talk about relationships all the time. When you find a good person and so many obstacles in between. I agree. That's why you have to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. You have to put him first. He has to be at the foundation. He has to be. Because a lot of times we get into these ungodly relationships. And again, y'all, I'm preaching to the choir. We get in these ungodly relationships and then we try to invite God in after we not made all the jacked up mistakes. It don't work like that, y'all. And then you got to have two people who want to be there. You have to have people who are intentional about being in the relationship. If you're not intentional about working with each other and trying to make things work out, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's not. And you got to pray. It's important to pray for your mate. Pray with your mate. And it's hard to find. For me, it's hard to find. And as much as I'm like, Lord, now you know. As much as I love you, Lord, why you don't send me a praying man? Somebody who could pray with me and pray for me. But he coming, and I believe it, because he don't let me settle with nobody. I'm going to tell you, even when I make bad decisions, he be like, nope, he got to go. I'll move him out the state before I let you be with him. And I appreciate that, because sometimes I can't make that decision for myself. So let's see. Johnson said, I will do that. Teach on courtship. I do this. You said, I do teach on this in Bible study. Great. That's awesome. Kenyatta said, so with Atlanta having the homosexual situation, what is a single girl in Atlanta to do? Online dating sometimes leads to long distance relationship. Kenyatta, I feel you, girl. But look, I just got finished telling a gentleman that I was seeing for I dated this gentleman in my past some years ago, and we reconnected, and I was going to give it a try. Even though I knew in my heart he wasn't for me. Let me just go ahead and preference it. He was not for me. And I knew this, but I was still going to try to work it out because, again, sometimes we are hard-headed. And eventually, this is a guy who I was just referencing. He moved out of state. And I was like, God, like the moment I get into a situation where I have companionship and friendship, you move him out the state. Now, God, I know he won't for me, but I was going to try it. But one of the things I told him when he moved, I was like, I don't want to be in no long distance relationship. Not at my age. I'm too old to be in a long distance relationship. I didn't sign up for this. I've been single for the last 10 years. Ain't nowhere in the world God sent you to be in my life and move you out the state after I've been single for 10 years. It's not going to work. And although we tried to work through it and fight through it, y'all, it just didn't work. I don't like long distance. I don't think it works, because the moment that person meets someone that they really like, you're going to start getting unreturned phone calls. You're going to start the unreturned phone calls, the arguments they're going to pick arguments and things of that nature. You're going to become suspicious. You got all these miles in between you, and it's going to be a headache. So don't even do it. And that's my take on it. I know some of you may not agree with me, but I'm speaking from a 42-year-old woman. I don't want to be in a long distance relationship. So there it is. How you trying and you know he not for girl? Cause I was tired of being by myself, and I dated him in the past, and I was in love with him in the past. So I would just go do it, disobedient and all, and that's why God moved him out the state, because he was like, you so hard headed, I'm just gonna get rid of him. So hey, that's what happened. I admit it. So, you know, sometimes God, he'll keep you from yourself. He will protect you from yourself. And in that instance, he really did protect me from myself. Aaron said, I'm not saying my sister, I'm always be there. He said, be where I'm at. I need time to get where I'm going because I have to start over because I had to put all those little boy games down. So now that I'm not hustling anymore because I'm bigger than that, but when I'm trying to get to where I know I can take us, why can't I get that same love and respect? I'm driven and know what I can do for me and us. Okay, so Aaron, this is my take on that because you said you had to start over, and I was in a position where I had to start over, Aaron. Several years ago, like maybe I'll say 8 years ago, Aaron, I lost a home, a car, a job. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I was going through that, trying to get on my feet, I didn't want to date anyone because I knew I didn't have, I knew the expectation of the man that I desired. I knew I had expectations of him, and I know he was going to have expectations of me because it worked both ways. And because I knew I wasn't where I wanted to be in life, I didn't date. I just didn't. I spent that time, you know, getting myself together, getting back on my feet, making sure my stuff was in order, you know, before I decided, you know what, I'm ready to date. And as a matter of fact, I mean, a lot of that time I carry a certain level of shame anyway, so I didn't want anybody to know me. Like, I didn't want people in my space when I was going through that or trying to get things, you know, back together and in order. I just didn't because I knew at that point in my life I wasn't going to attract what I wanted. So I just didn't date. Sometimes it may be difficult, but sometimes you got to just take some time to yourself until you can work it out and get to where you want to be in life. Hey, Leah, what's up, girl? Hey, Leah. So Shalonda, she said, Lord, Aaron, what he trying to do? But I get Aaron. Aaron is trying to do it all at once. And sometimes, y'all, we can't do it at once. We have to do it piece by piece. If you know that you're not where you want to be, unless you have someone who's been there, they've been there, that's like your day one, and they're there through thick and thin, they're going to be there no matter what goes on in your life, that's one situation. But if you're just meeting somebody for the first time, it's probably not a good idea to invite them into the chaos. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're not going to be your best you either. Because we all know when you're going through a situation where you've experienced loss, you have a certain level. It's just like a certain, this is a different mindset. You know, you're dealing with depression sometimes, isolation because you don't want to be around people. You're dealing with shame and guilt of how I got here in the first place. You're dealing with all of that. So sometimes it's best just to be alone. You know, sometimes it's best to take that time and work on you and figure out why you were in that situation in the first place and work that out. And I did that. When I was going through that, y'all, I had to go home to my parents. I had to live, y'all, at 30-something years old. And I didn't even have to go back home when I graduated from college. But at 30-something years old, I had them living with my parents. And I took that time to really focus on Chanel and putting the pieces of my life back together. And my mother, she was just so adamant about me dating. And I was like, Mom, I'm not interested in dating. Like, I'm focused on getting me together. You know, because the expectation that I have of a man, I'm not able to give that. And that's another thing, y'all. You can't have expectations from somebody and you're not able to give the same back. And I'm talking to my ladies too, because sometimes we have this warped idea of, I want a man to take care of me and I want a man to do this for me. No, can you do it? Can you do it for yourself? Can you take care of you? Can you buy that for yourself? Because if you can't expect him to buy it for you, and you can't expect him to do it for you. Do it for yourself, and then you attract exactly what you are. There's your answer right there. If you want that, you attract what you are. So, Shalonda said, haven't you noticed when you feeling a man, but he not so into you, but when you throwing shade, they all in love? What do you do with that? First of all, you got to ask yourself. First of all, you got to be honest with yourself, because if you know he throwing shade and you know he not into you and you know it's really not even about you, it's about when he's like all in love, it's about what you have to offer. It's about lust. It doesn't have anything to do with love. It's just really about his fleshly desire, really and truly. You know, we have that thing in us when somebody rejects us, it makes us want to be with them, but then the moment we get with them, we really don't want them. That ain't love, y'all. That's game plan. You know, and a lot of times when a dude is, you know, showing you attention because you throwing him shade, it ain't even about you. It's about what you got to offer. And that's it. That's attractive to them. But it's temporary. It's not permanent. So I feel like if you got to go through all that, because I've been there, done that too, where God wasn't all that into me or not showing me attention, then I tried to appeal to what I knew he liked. But at the end of the day, after he got what he wanted, where does it leave you? Where does it leave me? You know, empty and by yourself, where you were before you were doing that. So it's just best not to do that. Don't play games. You know, either you and that's where communication comes in. You just be straight up. Like, I'm like this now. I haven't gotten this age to be dumb. I just come straight out and say, hey, you know, if you're not, you know, I ask, what are your intentions? You know, how do you see me? You know, where's this going? I ask, because I'm not into wasting my time. I'm just straight up like that. I just ask the question, and that way you don't have to figure out, oh, do he like me? Oh, do he not like me? No, just ask. And then I've even heard someone say, well, I haven't known him long enough to ask him. Yes, you have. If you are spending your time talking to him on the phone, you know when feelings and emotions and all that stuff is brewing. You ask him, hey, where is this going? Or you tell him, you be upfront and say, hey, you know, I feel something changing within me. You know, I want to make sure we on the same page. Because if we're not, I want to, you know, maybe I need to fall back. But have that conversation. Have it. Look, you'll be so grateful you did. Have that conversation. So, Deion said, I was always told not to invest in something that does not have my name on it. I'm amazed at what men Atlanta look for. You do that. They have bumped their head or something. I just don't understand. I'm amazed at what men in Atlanta look for in you to do that. Dion, come again. Tell me what you're trying to say. And I get that first part of what you're saying. You were told not to invest in something that does not have your name on it. But sometimes, Dion, we'll connect with people and we'll like them and we'll begin investing our time, you know, and into that person because we like them and we're hoping that, you know, it could go in a particular place, you know. So we got to be realistic with ourselves. Sometimes we do that. And then you says, I'm amazed at what men look for in you. Be more explicit so I can respond appropriately to your post. Johnson says, I used to live in Atlanta. A lot of folk are broken, need to be healed by the Lord and learn to love yourself, work on you, be whole for you. Johnson, it's people everywhere in this whole world that's broken. It's not just Atlanta, it's everywhere. So, Aaron said, but building together, that's that one who you know that will be there when times get hard, rather when you become successful and know that they're there because they really love you, and for what you become or what you have. I'm asking because you're a very smart sister with good views, and I'm on my way. God has revealed that it's my time. I really want love. I'm ready to grow with someone. I deserve it. Aaron, and you said that you were on your way. So that tells me that you're purpose driven. That tells me that you're ambitious. That tells me that you have goals, right? You don't have to have everything. I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying that if you don't have any drive or you don't have any goals or you don't have a 5-year plan or you don't know where you're going in life, that's not attractive. So that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. And then you says, okay. And then also you were saying, you mentioned building together. Like I said, if you're going through a rough patch and you're dating someone, I'm not saying leave your mate because you're going through a rough patch. What I am saying is that if you are single and you're going through a rough patch, it's probably good that you stay single. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's difficult to bring somebody into something when things aren't all the way together. Situations like that usually breed dysfunction. So it's probably best. Now, I'm not saying that it can't never work, because it can and it has. But what I'm saying that what am I trying to say? But what I'm trying to say is that in most cases, it doesn't work. Yeah, I think I responded to okay. Johnson says, both have to be hidden in the Lord, be found in him, then get to know one another. Men lead their women into the land of milk and honey. Women encourage him and believe in the Lord and him. And yes, I know people are broken everywhere. I agree with you. Johnson, one of the things and I appreciate you because I'm very efficient in the word of God. I study. But one of the things, and this is one of the reasons why I have CheMinistry, right? Because I was one of those girls that I've abstained from sex for about 8 years, and I'm in church. I am in church serving, at the time serving, doing everything that I thought I was supposed to do. And I thought, when this is all over, I'm going to meet the right guy. I was churchy. Not that I didn't have an authentic relationship with God, because I did, but I think I was still getting to know him. And what I find is, you can't, first of all, you can't have a conversation about relationship without bringing the word of God into it. But you got to make it plain, honey, so everybody can understand. And also, you got to address what's really going on out here, because sometimes we try to mask it with the word of God. But at the end of the day, you could be in church, you could be on the pulpit preaching the word of God, and still be experiencing all types of attacks, especially if you're a single person. You go through so many different things as a single individual. So it's important to be able to connect with everybody and not be so salty. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, so y'all, so we was dealing with online dating, and does it really work? And in my opinion, I feel like some people have had success with it. I think for me personally, I don't like it. That's just my opinion. I don't necessarily think I think online dating is superficial. I think it's the easy way out. Now, I think that, it gives us an illusion that something exists that really doesn't. And I think it also, it fosters, like Tinder, for example. I was talking about this earlier for those of you who just logged on. Like it breeds superficiality, if that is a word. No, it lacks authenticity is what I'm trying to say, because you're picking people based on their exterior, and you don't know who they are. You don't know what they do. I find myself on Tinder, y'all, looking for men in suits, when in fact it could be a thug and he could have a suit on and he could not even have a job, but I hit like because I liked him in a suit. You know what I'm saying? So I personally don't necessarily like it, because you don't really get to know the person, and then you take all this time and you're talking, you're texting, and you wasted this time, and then you find out that this person isn't even a good match for you. So I prefer the old school way, the traditional way, but I do realize that times are changing. So let's see. Okay. Kenyatta said, I think I kind of understand what Aaron is saying. Hopefully not putting words in his mouth. Single folk like to do things by themselves, aka getting right, making a coin. But there's nothing wrong with building yourself with someone else who is built. I agree with you. Now, Kenyatta, I'm all for that building. I'm all for that. But, when I was speaking of, I'm talking about people who don't have drive, who don't have ambition, who don't have goals. I'm not interested in that. So if we're building together, absolutely, because I had to start over. I am starting over. I had to do that, and I pray that, if I meet, some gorgeous, influential, powerful, successful man, that he's like, okay, oh, you ain't where I want you to be, so, we can't date. I hope that doesn't happen to me. So, I get what he's saying. Tracy say, I agree. When I initially meet a man in my age bracket, I'm turned off when listening to someone's financial woes. I know that's right, Tracy. You want somebody who can actually take you out to dinner, or take you to a movie, or, you want somebody who can actually do some stuff with. You don't want to, and this goes into the next Facebook Live, where we're going to talk about, like, and this is not just for men, but women too. When you can't bring, you can't pay for nothing. You can't go nowhere. We can't go on vacation because you never have any money. You got to be able to bring something into it. So I definitely get it. Like, I don't be wanting to hear that either, Tracy. I don't want to hear about your financial woes either. I'm not saying I don't have none, but what I'm saying is I don't want to hear about yours. If you're going to be in a relationship, you have to be able to deposit into it. So, and if you're not ready to do that, or if you're not able, then again, like I said, when you're building and trying to put the pieces back together in your life, or you experience a setback, or you're going through some type of financial crisis, it's probably best that you be alone. It's probably best that you do that so that you don't attract, chaos. It's probably best to be by yourself. Okay. Kenyatta said, Tinder ain't the site for suited and booted men. Girl, I know. Look, I know, girl. I know. But that's the only one that I tried. So that's the example I used. Aaron said, I think you should really go for your own TV or radio show, really, because we don't talk enough about healthy relationships, because it looks like no one talking about it anymore. If it makes you, what? Oh my God, Aaron, I can't say that. It's cool and it's not. And a lot of men thinking that girl on girl is all right, and it's not. God is not happy with this mess that's going on. And you're so on point. I appreciate that, Aaron. He said, I'm still paying for my mom having... Oh, Aaron. He said, I'm still paying for my mom having shit in my name when I was 5. God rest her. So, Aaron, I get that. I get that, Aaron. I get that totally. I get that. So, guys, what do you think about this dating thing? Give me some more of your input, your insight. I've been talking. Tell me. Come on, talk to me. And Antonia, give me some of your insight, honey. Miss Anthem, I am Anthem. Let me know what your input is. Okay. So, anyway. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody's saying something, y'all. Okay, he said, sorry, my voice text is acting a little crazy. I'm multitasking, but what I was trying to understand, where do men come off thinking you are supposed to invest in their bad choices, like buying a piece of property and don't put your name on it, and want you to put money into it like you stupid? I get that, girl. That must have happened. I agree with you. Come off thinking you're supposed to invest in their bad choices, like buying a piece of property and don't put your name. Well, first of all, let me just say this, Deanna, and I've never been in this situation, but I'm speaking from my logical opinion. There's no way I'm going to invest my money into a piece of property for nobody and my name is not on it. I don't care if it's my mama. If my name ain't on it, I'm not putting a penny into it. And that's just the bottom line. That's it. Period. You know, and I'll do anything for my mama. And it could be her property, but my name gonna be on it if my money going into it. Because at the end of the day, I need to have say over that said property if something happened to that other person. So yes, no, that is very stupid. Don't ever put your name on something. Don't ever invest your money into something and your name is not on it. Kenyatta said, dating doesn't have to be as hard as we make it out to be. Kenyatta, well, give us some insight. Why not? Because we can't control how these people be acting. Like, I feel like you feel like dating is so simple. It's whether it's either you like the person or you don't. But it just seems like the moment a man finds out that you like him more than, you know, or that you're into him, then he begins to play head games. I was getting ready to share this with you guys, but then I lost my train of thought. But I had a guy who basically felt like I should be inviting him out. I should be paying to take him out to dinner. Or I said to him one day, you know, why don't we ever do anything? You know, we never go out. This is just one of my many experiences. And he says, well, what do you bring to the table? And at first I thought he meant from a financial perspective. Now I'm like, what do you mean? Can you elaborate on that? What do I bring to the table? He was like, I don't ever see you inviting me to do anything. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious right now? That's how you know when a guy is not into you. When he come to you and he say, hi, you know, what do you bring to the table? I don't even want to curse on this thing. What do you bring to the table? Like last time I checked, he was so out of order for asking me that question, and I should have known. I knew that this brother wasn't into me, but it took me some time to embrace that idea and move on. But yeah, no, women, we have no business investing in anything. We can take a brother out and pay for the meal every now and again. There's nothing wrong with paying. I actually enjoy paying from time to time, but he got to be able to pay too. So, let's see. And Tony, you said, I've been in a loving relationship for 4 years and it's not an easy road, but it's definitely worth it. I bet. I just want to try. Look, I know relationships are hard work. It's hard work in general, just being in a relationship with anybody. And, you know, I pray about it. I'm like, God, I just want to try. If I could just try, you know, at least have a try at it, a stab at it. Johnson said, I enjoy every moment of this. I appreciate that, Johnson, because it's something, this is not as easy as it may look, guys, because you got to sit here and think, be intuitive, be creative, give insight. Some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't. So I appreciate you guys just bearing with me. Kenyatta said, yep, I ain't co-signing Jack. I know that's right, girl. I know that's right. I ain't co-signing for nothing. I had this, let me tell you. I had a guy, this happened recently, y'all. I had a guy, okay, this is the guy I was telling you about who moved out of state, and we were seeing each other. And I've known this guy for quite some time, for 20 years. And we had, I won't get into what the details of what happened, but we had, I'll just call it a disagreement, right? And it happened while he was in Atlanta visiting, and the situation was so bad that we only saw each other maybe 20 minutes of his whole visit here, and it was of no fault of my own. And I honestly say that, like, I didn't contribute to this situation. I don't know what happened. So when we were talking, reconnecting or whatever, and he was apologetic, I said, well, why don't you come back? You could get a flight, come back for a day or two. This fool, and the ticket was like $165. That's nothing. This fool said, why don't you pay for the ticket? Now, I might be a little foolish because I'm still talking to you after what just happened. But I ain't that damn dumb to pay for your airplane ticket to come see me. Are you crazy? I'm not paying for your airplane ticket. I hope you're watching this Facebook Live. I'm not paying for shit. Excuse my language, y'all, but I had to say that. And I mean that. So anyway, I had to get it off my chest. This happened about over a month ago, but I just thought I'd address it right now. So anyway, every person we get, what you saying, Tony? Every person we get into a relationship with came to show us who we are. We attract every relationship we have. But the thing about it is, Antonia, I hear that you attract, and I even use it tonight, you attract what you are, and I get that. And I'm like, Lord, what about that situation was a reflection of me? I think the only thing that I could have learned in that particular situation is maybe I don't love myself enough. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't love myself the way I should. I think that's the only lesson that I could have gotten out of that situation. When you talk about every relationship that you attract is a reflection of you. When I sit back and I'm very reflective about why certain things happen, or, why certain things don't happen. The only thing that I could have gotten out of that situation is, Chanel, you don't love yourself enough. So that's just my take on some things. Because, yeah. Dion, is some women trying that same mess? Shaking my head, it's crazy out here. Oh, trying to put stuff in your name, Johnson? Beyond that, he said that's because a lot of women are paying for the guys out here, paying their child support, paying for everything, paying their bills, thirsty, get the game messed up. I know, Beyond, I know it. Paying their child support? Are you kidding me? Paying their child support? What? No. Oh my God. You'd be good if I date you, marry you, much less pay your child support. I'm serious. Y'all know how I feel about that men with children thing. So you doing good if I'm talking to you. So, and right, paying their bills. I'm not paying nobody. I have a hard enough time paying for my own bills. I'm not paying no man's bill. Are you kidding me? No. Y'all, I swear, we keep talking about little situations like this. I'm gonna start calling somebody's name on here. Y'all, I got to scale back because I feel my emotions starting to get high as we talk about some of this stuff. It takes a lot of growth, personal growth, to be in a successful relationship. I hope to go live and decide to watch. I hope to go live. And, oh, you said I hopped on to go live and decide to watch. I appreciate that, Antonia. We just talk about relationships on here, girl. That's all. Aaron said, hold up now. Why was that brother wrong now? What's wrong with you taking him out or buying him a pair of shoes, an outfit or two? Now he's not into you. No, wait a minute. Let's be clear, Aaron. I have no issues doing that for my man. And believe me, he would have done it for me 2 times over. What I have an issue with is we had which man are you talking about? Because if you're not taking me out, if you're not buying my airplane ticket, if you're not doing those things for me, then I'm probably not going to do those things for you. So that's what's wrong with it. I'm not doing that for you. You need to do it. That's not my place. And if I should decide to do it, I'll do it. But no. Like, if you're doing it, I'll reciprocate. And it's not because I feel obligated to. It's because I want to. It's just a natural reaction to somebody who gives. You want to give back. Somebody gives to you, you want to give back. You want to do it. It's natural. But I'm not just going to give and you're not giving nothing. It don't work that way. Kenyatta said, nah, I ain't buying your ticket to come see me. I know, Kenyatta, right? I'm going to buy your ticket to come see me. Then you going to come stay in my house. Really? No, it don't work. Tracy said, oh my God, I can't do the role reversal. I know it, Tracy. I know where these guys get off at. Talk about what you bring to the table. Nigga, what you bring? Excuse me, y'all. See, I told you. I'm going to get out of character. I'm sorry. Y'all know I'm crazy. Y'all know it is an element of entertainment. But we all talk about relationships. I'm getting high on my emotion now. Antonia said, it's a reflection of your limiting beliefs. I agree. I was listening to Bible study the other night. And my pastor was talking about, just about having faith and not doubting, and how you've prayed. He said, but some of you guys, you pray and you believe God, but then you doubt. And he says, and then you say, well, I kind of believe God's going to do it, but I got plan B or plan C, just in case he doesn't do it. And that was me, that really, because that's how I ended up trying to make a situation that I knew from day one wasn't right for me work, because that was my plan B, because God wasn't moving fast enough for me. But I tell you what, I am covered by the blood, because God didn't even trust me in that situation. He was like, okay, Chanel, I'll do what you can't do. I'll move him out of the state. And then that way it's going to fade out anyway, because you don't want to be in a long distance relationship. So I'm not even worried about it. I'll just move him away. And then there it is. And I appreciate God for that. Tracy said, I expect the man to be capable of paying for all dates, unless it's your birthday. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what CheMinistry is. Speak the truth. That Tracy said she expects a man to be capable of paying for all dates, unless it's your birthday or Father's Day. There it is, fellas. I know y'all going crazy. But Tracy, she can hold her own, so go ahead and respond. Michael said, gorgeous. I appreciate that. No, Michael, what's that little water sign for? What's that? Okay, Johnson, he said, I co-signed for a young lady to get an apartment and let her use my storage unit because she had no credit. She stole all of my stuff out of my storage, and all I did was make sure her and her kids had a roof on their head. Johnson, what? Johnson, she did what? Stole your stuff and you co-signed for her? Okay. Now, Johnson, we got to talk, because I know men, y'all got a different perspective, because a lot of times men don't really mind if women have children. And I'm not talking about you guys who have grown children. This conversation doesn't apply to you, because your children are grown. They're out of the house. So we're not talking to you. But we're talking to those who have young children, like Johnson. First of all, I'm sorry. And I can't relate, because I'm not a single mother, so I can't relate. But I don't know why you co-signed for her apartment to make sure she had a roof over her and her kids' head. That wasn't your responsibility, Johnson. It really won't. It won't, Johnson. I can appreciate what you did for her. I really do. And even if you helped her one time and said, you know what, I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you a couple dollars to help you get on your feet, or whatever the case may be. You don't have to pay me back. But to put your name on something to potentially jeopardize your credit and no, not going to happen. Johnson, don't do that no more. Don't do that no more, because there's so many women out here that got their own stuff. Now, if you had been with her for years and, your woman, she needed your help, and y'all been together, y'all in a relationship, this person, that's different. But Johnson, I don't think you knew her that well to sign for her and, let her use your storage. Because I think that if you knew her, you would know that she had the tendency to steal your stuff. So don't do that no more. Don't do that. Tajana said, I'm cracking up. Look, I'm just keeping it real. Don't do that. Don't do that. Look, I'm a woman, and I'm telling you, don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. Find you somebody else who got their own stuff. Period. Antonia said, I talk about faith all the time. Exactly. I be listening to your live broadcast, Antonia. I know you talk about faith all the time because I listen. Dion style, I love your thought processes. Look, Dion, I just be trying to keep it real because a lot of times people get so offended or you don't feel comfortable expressing how you really feel because you are fearful about how the other person is going to perceive what you're saying. But I really don't care. You know why? Because it's my life. And at the end of the day, I have this life to live and I get to determine how I'm going to live it and who I'm going to spend it with. And I'm not going to sacrifice myself because I'm trying to appease somebody else. I did that the first 20 years. Let me take that back. I did that the last 40 years or the last 20 years of my life as an adult. You know, the dating. I've been dating for about 22 years. And I've done that the last 22 years, sacrifice myself for somebody else. So no. So I keep it real on here because I've been there, done that. The way I didn't just wake up like this overnight. I've had experiences that has made me this way. It's called wisdom. Don't do that again, Johnson. So anyway, Antonio said, I will catch you again on another live. Great convo. Talk to you later. I love to be on live with you to talk about those limiting beliefs and how to let them go. We can chat later. Yes, girl, we need to talk about those, and I need help. I need help in that area. But I'm getting there, y'all. I'm getting better. Johnson said, yep, when you add plan B and you say, trust God, you take him all out of the equation. You really do. And I'm in a place in my life right now where I have eliminated all plan Bs. I'm having to desanitize the area where I allowed plan B to dwell. So I'm having to take this moment and be alone so that when plan A show up, I'll be ready. And that's just how it is. Dion said, that goes back to what I said, Johnson. Johnson said, hey, I was led to do it. She was in a bad, abusive. But, Johnson, let me ask you something. She was in an abusive situation, but were you trying to date her? Because I know you weren't trying to date somebody in an abusive situation. Was you just trying to help a friend out, or did you have a physical attraction to her? Because there was already some dysfunction there, Johnson, that there was already a situation that existed there that should have told you that this person was not for you. If she was in an abusive situation, then, I mean, it was okay for you to be her friend and be there for her, but not in a romantic type of way. Because that could be looked upon differently too, you know. So, clarify that for me. I was trying to help, but that her loss, I'm blessed with more, and that enough back to me. I'm blessed with more. I know you guys are typing and you're missing words and stuff. That's cool. Xerxes, he said, I am all online dating. What do you mean? Elaborate on that. What do you mean I am all online dating? And y'all, you know what, really, when you think about it, you meet the person online, but y'all, beyond that meeting, it shouldn't be online no more. Like, you can meet, if you decide that you want to take that route and you meet somebody, meet that person. But then once you make that connection online, that should be it. Y'all need to be meeting person to person. Y'all need to be talking on the phone. You need to eliminate texts. You need to eliminate anything that's not going to allow you guys to look at each other face to face and have open, honest communication so that you can get to know who you're dealing with. Period. So it could be online dating as it relates to how you guys connected, but from that point going forward, you need to kill that online stuff and you need to see that person face to face, because you don't know who you dealing with until you look them in the eye and spend some time around them. So I said, no, not trying to date her then. We dated in the past, trying to be a friend. Okay, I got you. And you didn't know that her character was sketchy and that she was a thief. You didn't know that, Johnson? Xerxes Maximus. That's a different kind of name. Am all for, well, that's what I mean. You all for online dating. Okay, you know what, Xerxes? Y'all, everybody who's listening to this broadcast right now, what's your definition of online dating? Tell me so I can understand what your definition is. You know, because I think when I think of online dating, I just think of meeting someone via online, via one of these websites. You know, I shared earlier, the only site I've ever been on was Tinder, because I'm not really into the online dating, but I was trying it because some friends of mine had tried it and they was telling me how great it was. And so I wanted to try it. And initially when I signed up, it was very addictive because I was flipping through pictures and I'm like, yeah. But then after a while, I was like, I'm making matches based on just the exterior alone. And while the exterior is very important, don't get me wrong, people can say it's not important, but it's important because that's your first point of contact. Before you ever hear a word come out of a person's mouth, you're looking at their face. So don't ever let nobody make you feel some kind of way when they say, oh, why are you looking at their looks? Because that's the first thing I see. I saw their face before I heard the words that came out their mouth. So, I was picking people based on that, and I didn't know about their content, their character, or anything. And, I was meeting some people I met a few, not many, and I never went out on a date with any of them because they all showed me that they wasn't ready for what I was looking to do. But you don't get to see their character or their content online. Kenyatta said, online dating is the meeting of someone. We meet online, but gonna take it offline. Exactly, Kenyatta. And the reason I asked for you guys to do that is because I need y'all to know. Because I know a lot of you guys do online dating, but understand, when you meet someone online, you meet them. That's it. You need to take it offline. No texting. You need to talk to these people directly. Communicate directly, not via text. Directly, y'all. Because then some of you, like Herman Owens said, online dating is a scam. Right. You will be scammed in certain instances. You'll meet somebody who's not who they say they are. Or you'll meet somebody's representative. Or you'll find out that, oh, this person who looks so fine, he's an abuser. He beat women, or he doesn't know how to set boundaries. He doesn't know how to balance his home life and his relational life. I had a gentleman who I took interest in online, and he had 2 children, y'all, and I gave him a chance because his children was a little bit older. They weren't grown, but they weren't babies either. And he showed me everything that I thought, everything that I spoke about on the last broadcast. He showed me every reason why I don't like to date men with children. He didn't know how to balance, his family life and his relational life, or just trying to get to know someone. So I turned into a FaceTime buddy. I don't want to be your FaceTime buddy. We're going to take time and talk. I want to meet you face to face. I want to get to know you person to person. So in that context, online is just what interface for meeting. Right, exactly. And then Michael Burrow said, I agree with you, my sister. I keep it real as well. Just be honest with that person, and communication goes a long way. I just got on for a minute, but I have a question. So you don't date men with kids? And here we go. And by the way, you're a very good looking lady. I appreciate that. No, I'm selective about the men that I date who have children. I wouldn't necessarily go that far and say I don't date men with children. I date men with children. However, I need to see that man in the context with his children. I need to make sure it's a healthy relationship. Now, I don't date men with children who are under the age of 5. I really don't want them to be any younger than like maybe 10. I need them to be going into their teen years. That's just me. Because smaller children, they need a little bit more attention. And the women can be a little bit more manipulative with that child when they're younger, in trying to, kind of seduce him to do what they want him to do, or manipulate him to do what they want him to do. Okay, so Xerxia said it does become an unhealthy distraction. Yes. Hi, Anthony. Kenyatta said, doesn't online dating, the apps or whatnot, allow you to put in demographic and characteristics that you like? That's a plus to me. Once you type in what you want, you click based on looks. In person, it's the other way. It's looks, then you figure out character. Put in demographic and characteristics that you like. That's the plus to me. What you want, you click based on looks. I think that's dating in general. When you see the person. I mean, I'll be real with you. The only time you're going to be attracted to someone based on their content or character initially, guys, is when you've met that person in a context where you have common goals and purpose. And you guys have to be in communication for whatever reason. You're talking. You're getting to know that person. You may not have been attracted to them initially. And if you ever been in a situation like that, where you've been on the job and you met that young lady or you met that man and you guys started talking or working on a project, and you're like, wow, I really dig him. You wouldn't have looked at him otherwise. But when you guys start having that conversation, you saw something in that person that you didn't initially see. Unless it's a situation like that, the first thing you're going to see are their physical looks. Let's just be real. That's all you're going to see. And then after you see that, then you begin to have a conversation, and then you decide if this is somebody who you want to get to know better. But initially, it's all about looks unless you meet them in a common environment where you guys have to talk. That has happened to me time and time again. So, Xerxes says, all the texting and things that keep us from the actual presence and showing. I know, and I don't like the texts. I don't like the texting. I don't like texting when I know you. Don't text me unless you just texted me good night. Call me and talk to me. I want to talk. As y'all can see, I'm a talker. Jameek said, are you ready to date? If so, call me. You already have my number. Xerxes said, right on the head. Tatiana joined. Tatiana, you left me and came back, girl. I see you caught. So yeah, we've been on here for quite a little while, y'all. Does anybody else have any comments that you guys want to share, or any other topics or issues? I won't say topics, but any other questions that you want to ask before we go ahead and end the broadcast. I just want to give everybody an opportunity to comment and, give their thoughts and opinions, because that's what it's here for. Kenyatta said, hey, Chanel, it's been a cool combo. We'll connect with you next week. Have a great weekend. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I look forward to it. Xerxes said, you are rare. Man, I hope so. I hope so. He said, love your conversation. I appreciate it. I try to keep it real. So real, we getting ready to go, boo. Is there anything you want to add to our conversation about online dating, and does it really work? Everybody good? I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Until the next time, I appreciate everybody for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you, Johnson. I appreciate it. Y'all, one thing I will share with you all, our next live broadcast is going to deal with, it's a video on my timeline right now, but it's going to really deal with, it's a woman speaking, so it's going to be from this perspective, and men, it's going to be very interesting to hear you guys' comments, but about just like when a man he can't pay for nothing, like, he always having financial issues, he can never do anything, so we're going to talk about that. It's going to be tense, but we're going to keep it real, and we're going to say what we feel, because that's what CheMinistry, y'all, it's a relationship platform designed, or created rather, to bridge the gap between purpose-driven men and women who progressively want to move their love life to the next level. So it's a place where we could be open and honest and have transparent communication, and we say what we feel. And I'll be the first one to tell y'all that I'm just going to keep it real. I'm going to say the stuff that you think in your mind, but you never repeat out your mouth. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. And I'm going to make you all who have those thoughts know that you ain't nothing wrong with you for feeling that way. You human, you normal. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much. Tatiana says she is rare. Yeah, I appreciate that. Can't wait to the next broadcast. Good night. God bless. This has been so rare. I'm blessed by this. I appreciate that, guys. So yeah, we're going to talk about men and their ability to pay or not to pay. And guys, you can tell us what your expectations are of the women. Like, do you feel like she should pay, or are you cool with paying for everything? So we're going to really talk about that. And we're going to talk about just dating in general. So if it's something that you want to address, we'll talk about it on the next one. But until next time, you guys have a good night. Peace out, y'all.